All right, today we're tackling one of the biggest mysteries out there, the enigma of the Devil's Triangle. It's this place where the rules of science, navigation, maybe even reality itself just seem to go a little haywire. So our mission? To cut through the noise, separate the hard facts from the wild fiction, and really figure out what's going on in this legendary patch of ocean. Let's dive right in. I mean, listen to that. It sounds like something straight out of a thriller, right? You're on a plane, everything's perfect, and then poof, your compass goes crazy, the radio cuts out, and you just vanish. For decades, this hasn't just been a scary story. It's the very real narrative tied to a place on our own planet. And honestly, it's a story that has a total grip on our imagination. Okay, so what is the big secret of the Devil's Triangle? What's really going on? Well, before we can even start to peel back the layers of this thing, we've got to get on the same page. We need to know exactly what we're dealing with and maybe more importantly, where it is. So, if you look at a map, it's this big triangular patch of the Atlantic Ocean. But let's be real, it's that nickname, the Devil's Triangle, that really tells you everything you need to know about its reputation. It just sounds ominous, doesn't it? And that reputation? Oh, it's built on something seriously unsettling. We're talking about dozens and dozens of ships and planes that have supposedly just disappeared there. But here's the really freaky part. It's how they vanish. It's always sudden. No warning, no SOS calls. And the most chilling part? Not a single trace is left behind. It's like they were just plucked out of reality. To really understand why this legend has such a hold on us, we have to look at the one case that started it all. The one that basically put the Bermuda Triangle on the map. I'm talking about the vanishing of Flight 19. Just look at how this all went down. It's incredibly fast and chilling. So it's 1945, 5 Navy planes take off, just a routine training flight. But then less than 2 hours later, the pilots are reporting their compasses are spinning like crazy. They're lost. 20 minutes after that, nothing. Just static, total radio silence. And then, and this is the part that gets me, the rescue plane they send to find them, it vanishes too. Gone. No trace. 6 planes, all gone in one afternoon. It's just unbelievable. And this is the absolute key. Even now, after all these years of searching and investigating, we still have no definitive answer for what happened to those 6 planes and the 27 men on board. None. It's one of the biggest unsolved aviation mysteries ever. This single event is the foundation, the very bedrock of the whole Bermuda Triangle legend. So when you have a mystery this big, this unsettling, it's going to attract all sorts of theories, right? You've got everything from the purely scientific to the totally supernatural. So let's play detective for a bit and see what kind of explanations people have come up with. Yeah, and these theories pretty much fall into 2 main buckets. In one corner, you've got the scientific explanations, people trying to use what we know about the natural world to solve this. And in the other corner, well, you've got the more, let's say, imaginative ideas, the kind of stuff you'd see in a sci-fi movie. Okay, let's start with the science. One of the big ones is the magnetic field theory. The idea is that this whole area has some really weird magnetic stuff going on that just messes with navigation equipment. Think about it, a compass that's just spinning wildly, that's exactly what the Flight 19 pilots reported, right? It's easy to see how that could get you completely and hopelessly lost. But here's the problem with that. The Bermuda Triangle isn't the only place on the planet with weird magnetic fields, not by a long shot. So the big question is, why here? Why would this one spot be so notoriously dangerous if other places have the same thing going on? It's a pretty big hole in the theory, you know? All right, so another scientific theory has to do with the ocean itself, and this one is genuinely terrifying. I'm talking about rogue waves. These are these sudden, monstrous walls of water that can just appear out of nowhere. We're talking waves so huge they can swallow a massive ship whole in seconds. No time to react, no time to even get out a distress call, just gone. But again, there's a nagging question, isn't there? Okay, a rogue wave sinks a ship, fine. But you'd still expect to find something, right? Some debris, life jackets, anything floating on the surface. So why, in so many of these famous cases, do the search teams come up with absolutely nothing? It's that total lack of evidence that just keeps this whole mystery ticking. And since science can't seem to give us a perfect answer, that's where the paranormal stuff comes in. You know the drill. Aliens swooping down and abducting ships and planes, or maybe a time portal, a gateway to another dimension. Look, these ideas are super fascinating. They make for great stories, but we have to be really clear here. There is absolutely zero scientific proof for any of it. Okay, so we've been deep in the mystery, the danger, the theories, but now we're going to pivot a little. We're going to look at what might just be the most surprising and maybe even shocking reality of the Devil's Triangle. Just look at this. Thousands. So what is that? Is that the number of ships that have vanished? No, that's the number of flights and ships that go through the Bermuda Triangle safely. Not in a year, not in a month, but every single day. And here's the thing that kind of blows your mind. Despite its terrifying reputation, this so-called Devil's Triangle isn't some forbidden zone. It's basically one of the busiest shipping and travel highways in the entire world. For every single spooky story you've heard, there are literally hundreds of thousands of boring, perfectly normal trips that happen without a hitch. So, where does that leave us? On the one hand, you have these absolutely chilling legends. On the other hand, you have the totally boring reality of daily traffic. So, is the mystery solved? Is it all just hype? Or is there still something we're missing? You know, maybe the real power of the Bermuda Triangle, the reason we're still talking about it, has nothing to do with aliens or magnetic fields. Maybe the real fear, the real fascination, comes from the questions we just can't answer. It's this reminder that even in our super high-tech world, there are still corners of the map that are a total mystery. And that feeling of the unknown, it's both scary and incredibly compelling. So I'm going to leave you with one final question. Think about it. After everything we've just gone over, the science, the stats, the stories, if you were on a plane tomorrow and you saw on the little map that you were flying right over the Bermuda Triangle, be honest, could you say with 100% certainty that everything would be okay? Or would a tiny part of you feel a little chill? Yeah, that feeling, that's why this